Afterword of The World's Wife by Carolyn Duffy. What I wanted to do in the book was to look at all stories, fairy tales, myths, stories from the history, film, and popular music, or whatever. Stories or heroes or villains who had informed me as a writer, part of my cultural ancestry. I wanted to celebrate them in a way, but also find the truth with which hadn't been amplified previously. The way I wanted to do the way I wanted to do that was to find a female perspective on the character, and I did that by finding a personal connection with the fairy tale, myth, piece of cinema, etc. So that although I'm wearing the mask of a Queen Herod or Mrs. Beast, I'm not disconnected from my own place, my own life. It might be that it is autobiographical in the sense that it is true to my imaginative life or my emotional life, but not necessarily true to the actual details of my life. But at a later stage, I order the poems in a loose chronological movement. We start with The Little Red Cup, which is about a young girl becoming a poet, and end of Demeter, which is about a woman becoming a mother, so that it follows the arc of my own life in some ways. What you can do as a poet is take a story and make it new. Dramatists do this all the time. One of the poems in the book is Pygmalion, which has been used as a template by writers from George Bernard Shaw to Willie Russell in Education Writer. Old stories which are made fresh. Therefore, the original concept was to take stories had been formed by from childhood. In my particular case, I had a Catholic upbringing. I went to a Catholic primary school, and then a convent school. So stories from the Bible, particularly the New Testament, were part of my background on a daily basis. There was church more than once a week, confession and communion, and that sort of thing. And my mother and my brothers were altar boys. These stories are very close to me, and I didn't just think one from the Bible, one from Shakespeare. These tales were just there in the way in which family stories and family mythology are always there. I completed 30 poems, but there could have been a lot more. For me, these poems are a celebration really of language, relationships being human. To write about anything at all, even if you're critical of your subject, is to celebrate, is to make something, to add something to the world. It's a giving act. I never felt in the writing of the World's Wife poems that the main endeavor was to have a goal at certain aspects of maleness. Although I can see that that's a part of what comes out of the content. My aim was to find hidden truths and fresh female ways or of looking at familiar things. I didn't want every woman in the book to be better than the men. That wasn't my agenda. So I wanted to look at unpleasant aspects of being female as well as looked at the ways of being male. I wanted to look at the ways being human, really. It just happens that the stories that I grew up with feature men, Faust, Midas, Tiresias, Pilate, King Herod. What I've tried to do is to put some female into it. I wasn't trying to attack the male, but put the female into the story. With all of them, I'm looking at the story and I'm thinking that the events that are the same, but I might change the interpretation of events. And of course, the main change is from male to male viewers of things. That's about what you say. That's what you say. But what does she say? And in any situation, there will be a different explanation of events. In that sense, although the book has been called a feminist manifesto, and I am feminist, and it is feminist, my aim was larger than that. I wanted to be able to expand the stories and to bring the extra layers of truth. I wanted to add and not take away from the originals, Kara and Duffy, taken from an interview with Barry Wood, 2005, for sheer poetry.